Hi there, and welcome to our Manor Lords High Peaks playthrough. Last time we started our journey in the first region and established a firm foundation. This week we welcome growth, establish our first manor, and settle into Lunek. As with the other videos in this series, there's an extended version available for members, so if for some reason you want to see more typical, you know what to do. But now, without further ado, grab yourself a cup of tea and relax alongside me in Manor Lords. So let's start thinking about how we're going to plan this out. Obviously, we said we're going to have tributaries off this main road going through here, so we should probably continue as we mean to go on in that regard. Now, have we mined any of this clay yet? No, we have finally finished building it though, so once we have a family available, I am going to send them over there. It's going to be quite a laborious job to bring in all the clay, but it is a resource that we need, and it saves us buying in that initial clay rather than having, because we've got our own resource nearby. Did we build? I don't think we did. Okay, well in that case, let's put together in what has turned out to be a little industrial street here. A clay furnace, so that when we do have some clay available, we can go ahead and get that turned into some lovely tiles. Let's start setting up some roads for our next major expansion. And that, I think, is going to take place here, behind where we've got the salt and the quarries. And indeed, with the quarries, how are we doing on stone? So, we have 230 dressed stone, got plenty of mortar. And what about rough stone? How are we doing for that? We're using up all the rough stone, so we could do with another quarry worker potentially. Trade-wise, I think it's probably time we established a trade route there. We're going to export everything over 200 stone for the time being. I think that seems a reasonable figure. I'm just going to pause the game and let's get down our other salt mines. Words were eluding me then. In a similar pattern to what we've done here with the stone, just so that we know what our limits are and what we're working around when it comes to setting up local burgages. Okay. And then, yes, another little industrial sector here, which I think will serve us well. In terms of food production, we can let those be built now. What are we lacking? So we've got a reasonable number of vegetables, but nothing crazy. And obviously we haven't got any fruit coming in yet, so we will need more of those. I think some dense burgages down here, and then once again we will thin them out as we go over to the edge. Let's get another road that kind of mimics the main road here. A little something like this. And whoop, as the game saves, we'll go to there, because I think that road is then going to be carried on this way, as indeed is our road here. So let's continue that on now and make sure we've got our experimental weave in here as well. We'll double this one up. Oh, that looks nice, doesn't it? But to spoil it rather, we should probably have a road going right down the middle of that. Okay, that looks good. And then we'll connect this up in a number of places. We might even just do a bigger version of what we're doing with the main road. Oh yes, I like that. Good stuff. And in here we can get down our granaries and our storehouses that we're going to use to supply all the burgages that we're going to be building up here. It's time. If you're enjoying the video, please drop a like, hype, comment and subscribe to help the channel grow. Thank you all so much for your support. Back to the video. So a bit more than that. Something like that there. So in line almost with this road. So let's take this road and we'll just take it gently into this forest area, mimicking the road we have to our left here. Right, meanwhile, while we're faffing, burgages are going up. What month even is it? September. Completely lost track. Well, we're getting up there with fuel, so not selling our charcoal anymore is working out, and we're still making money. I'm going to convert the first of these mines to a deep mine. In fact, we'll do a couple so that they're ready, since we have the workforce at the moment. How are we doing for... Yes, we could probably do with another storehouse worker. Let's assign another storehouse worker to this storehouse, because they are in the locale of where they live, and let's help things a little bit. And then as people move in over here, we will again start to fill up these granaries and storehouses we've got located down here. Let's pop a road behind these burgages. That neatly finishes into this little detail we've got going on here. And hopefully by building these logging camps, which eventually will be built at any rate, we will be able to deforest this, like we said, without having to build over it. And we've got some space here that we can put burgages into in the meantime, before we have to expand all the way over there. Upgrades to be made, so we shall make them. There we go. Plenty of upgrades being made there. No families to do it, because they're massively overworked, but at least the storehouse and granary supply chains are approaching something respectable again. Surface deposit down to 450, but that's not too bad. How are we doing with the clay? There's 80 left. Have we made any roof tiles? We're lucky. Ooh, 200 clothes. Hello, roof tiles. 33. Oh, very good. So we're at least making use of that clay, and hopefully before too long we'll get rid of it all. Not enough stable space. Or pasture space. No, there's definitely stable space. It's a stable there, look. But I suppose it means pasture space. Who ticks there? So that's 37. Build a long thin one here. 35, despite not being a much different sized area. 36, oh dear. That's another thing that devs need to fix. Long, thin, seem to be much better at making use of the space. There's no more than if I clicked here, is it? Not really. Right, well, at least that adds some space in the interim, even if it is a little bit ridiculous that that holds 36. That only holds 45. It's a much larger area, I would have thought, by area. Oh well, it deals with that problem, at least for the time being. Ooh, upgrades. I do like making an upgrade. We've got lots of money, look. So with that money, I'm actually going to skip your upgrades immediately and buy you some pigs. What an absolutely fantastic deal. Oh, what's wrong here? Requirements not met. You changed your mind. Or did you never have it to start with because no one lives there? I think that's probably more likely and I just wasn't paying attention. And it's April already. Season's passing us by. What do we like with fertility? There's a bit of fertility over here. There's a bit here, but that would require farming at elevation, which we don't have. Indeed. Probably not going to do any growing here at all. We'll reserve that for the end region and then just... Yeah, it's not very big, that region, is it? We'll have to make this purely an agricultural region and use it to export the goods to our other regions along the way, which I think sounds a nice idea. Bit of inter-cooperation and trade between our future regions. We are going to need to build a manor at some stage and tax ourselves so that we have the money we need to do the farming. And of course that statement makes no sense whatsoever. But what of course I mean to say is that we need the manor to bring in a little bit of treasury money, which gives us the seed money to go into another region. And also, I suppose we need the influence as well, so we're going to have to tithe ourselves. That does make it a bit more of a pressing issue. Well, in that case, let's start to think about where our manor is going to be. And I think it would be amiss if we didn't put it on the hill here, overlooking the settlement. And we are more or less in the centre here. So this could be our main castle stronghold, and it makes sense actually. We've got our stone here. So this could be our walled area. We could potentially do another small castle here, but I think it makes sense to have the main one there. So, with that in mind, let's take a look at where we want to put down the manor. Oh, lovely sip of tea. Yes, so we'll have to do some forestation up here probably as well, especially as we're not keeping this long term. And maybe we even have to import some firewood from other regions. I mean, the only reasonable sized region for that is going to be over here. I suppose we could do more planting up here. Good, let's get that built. And a road along the front as well. Let's just remind myself of the perk. Because, is this the one? Yes, it is the one with increased success of tree planting. Okay, well in that case we probably ought to make this region the fuel supply, which is a little awkward, because it does not have many trees, as you may have noticed compared to some of the other regions. So we'll definitely make that a focus of some of the area up here, and it may be something we want to get people working on sooner rather than later by putting down a couple of foresters that exclusively work in this area. To remind ourselves, let's get down... Oh, no timber, there we are. Let's get one down there, and when we do have some free workers, we may well send them over to work there. Good gravy. Upgrades are coming thick and fast, and my goodness, we're out of living space. We haven't completed these burgages because we've been so busy building other things. We've got 2 logging camps here now, and they're both fully active, 3 people in each, and we're starting to carve into the forest here, as you can see by the enormous number of logs that are down on the ground, as we can see if we hover over them with a reasonable sized building. Come on. Yes, there, look. So many. Good stuff. And the manor has been constructed, and we've started a little bit of taxation. Already we're up to 1.3k influence, which makes me wonder if we've been overtaxing, but it seems to be fine. But 10% on the tithe and 2% on land tax. Let's reduce this to 5%, because we've got enough to claim another region now, and we're not far off having enough money to settle in one too, so perhaps we won't leave it too long before settling in the next region over. Right, it's March. Do we expand? Oh, and here's an idea. Do we skip a region? And do we go right over here into Lunek? Now, the reason I'm wondering if we do that is because Lunek is the region with the best fertility. And that would allow us to get alcohol sooner rather than later. Yes, I like the idea of that. Let's claim good old Lunek with our much influence. And we will start to think about colonizing over there this year. So what do we have resource-wise? We've actually got strong iron deposit over there, so we can send that as well. We'll have so many exports. Wild animals and some mushrooms, neither of which are particularly good. So we will need to get some food here, pretty sharpish. I suppose we could import the food, couldn't we? We don't really want to be building massive vegetable burgage plots in this region, because that's going to take away from our other production. Barley-wise, not much fantastic space, is there, for growing barley? It's going to be pretty pressed, but then again, we go through our standard 3-field rotation anyway, so it doesn't really matter. We're going to be growing everywhere. And certainly I'm thinking everything on this side is going to be focused on farms. So we might put our town... There's a good barley spot here as well. What about up here? What's this like? It's the edge of the region. But... the edge of the region's all the way over here, though. Just wondering if living along the edge here... because look, the fertility stops in a line here. It's a bit odd. Especially since it goes all the way over here. But it does stop there. So it might be worth putting some burgages right along the edge here, or some farms, and then a little outpost here perhaps to start with, near the wild animals. We'll want a fairly dense population arrangement over here, just to maximise farm space. Right, lots and lots of plans in the offing. Good stuff. Now we upgraded the church as well, so we need a family there to work on maintenance. And... yet another storehouse worker. No one's ever happy. You done yet? 2. Come on. Silly clay mining. What's the view like from our manor? Quite satisfactory. And it's not much of a settlement yet, is it? But I think I could grow it into quite a pretty one, given enough time. So we're nearly done claiming Lunek there. And here we go. Lunek has been claimed. Now, of course, I don't really want to go and lose all my attention that I've currently got in Lunek right away. Because although we're doing well for regional wealth and we're fine on supplies, at least for the time being, and doing well on approval as well, I need places for people to be moving into. We don't currently have that. That being said, it's going to take a minute to clear out these trees. So, against my better judgment, perhaps we should be extending our burgages down here in there as well. We'll upgrade that storehouse and granary to make sure that they are ready when we get a few people moving in and working at them. Right, so now we've got something going over in Lunek to take care of our population. That's 13. Let's go over here and go to administration and get down a settlers camp. And I suppose we might as well start right next to the deer. It'll be an average setup because that's what we can afford. And then let's start building some roads, and we'll start by putting a circle around our wild animals here. Okay. Starting settlement. Let's get down a granary. Let's get down a storehouse. Let's get down to business. Oh yes, very good. Order an ox. Relocate this one as well. Pop it down there for now. Take a little connection road out here. And we'll also get down a logging camp right away, which we'll put here. Can't afford that yet, so we won't worry about that. Let's get time going though, and make sure granary and storehouse are priority, because it's already raining, which is not going to be helping matters whatsoever. And we will need a woodcutter's lodge. We might as well put opposite, and of course we'll need some planks. So let's speed them along there. Good, we're going to work it in that granary, and then we'll do the same in this storehouse here. Where are we going to get the water source? Ooh. Just here. Got a family working at the storehouse. And then for our first burgages, I think we're going to fit into this space here. And just waiting for the last of those supplies to be moved in. But while they're doing that, we should really be building these burgages. Let's unassign those families to free them up for construction work. And get some families right away working at the loggers camp. We're of course going to need a source of food, which in this case will be coming from the hunting camp. And it would make sense to have this nice and close to the granary and storehouse. We'll pop that down there. And we've got just enough space behind here to build this road. And then we'll connect this around here with a nice square road around the top. Okay. It's a nice neat little starting setup there. Timber is coming in, so we'll get extensions built here right away as well. And hopefully we'll have everyone tucked nicely inside their burgages before too long. And then we can have some denser burgages along here, and then perhaps use some of this space to fill out with some more vegetable burgages. Or at least that is the plan as it stands. Woodcutter is up and running. Next thing to think about is getting a family back in the logging camp. So we upgrade to the next level. Very nice indeed. And we need to think. Yes, we need to think. It's news to everyone, isn't it? Typical things. Let's get down a charcoal kiln, which I guess we'll put here. And we'll just connect this road down here. Okay, well, let's take it to there. And then take it down in any case. Get a family working at the charcoal kiln. And straight away go down to... not administration, logistics is what I'm looking for. And build our trading post, which will pop just here on the King's Road. Build the road around like so. And what are we going to go for here then? So, well, we should probably check what we have available to us. So we've got the iron, but predominantly farming-based settlement. So, perks. We've already got smallholders, so we don't want to do that. A better hunting hand wouldn't be bad for us, but we're not doing a lot of foraging. Journeyman, yeah, not doing a lot of woodwork. Increased residential wealth and burgage plots, that's nice. But okay, we've done that. Smiths of Passy might be good for a financial income. Born of the Alps, it could be useful, but this is actually a pretty low-lying region compared to some of the others, so we don't need that elevation gain. Masons, not doing much masonry here. Prosecutors, yeah, better armourers. Improved mine integrity, that would be nice, because we are going to be doing a lot of mining. And we know the game does tank a bit later with repairing mines. Hinterlands, farming innovation, increased mining labour speed. Cheaper animal imports. Let's go for prosecutors. For that integrity. And also, it's one more thing we can export as well. So we've got somewhere for someone to move in. We are going to need more before too long as well. So let's go ahead and get another burgage plot popped down, and we'll start to fill out this space we've got here. So let's build a road in there and start to get a couple of burgages down. Just going to swing on over here. 9 burgage plots available, and let's get these set up for vegetables. Splendid. Get an upgrade here. And we've got 9 unassigned families, so let's look at the absolute state that is the granary and storehouse supply chain. And get 3 of each type in these 2 here. In an attempt to quash the issue, which has only been partially successful. And let's get some chickens in here then. We're up to 600 clothes, so I think it's time we opened up an export on clothing. I'm just going to go for chickens on all of these. It does produce a little bit of meat, and of course eggs for the animal produce side of things as well. And let's head on over to the trade post, where we should probably have 4 families working. So we'll assign an additional family, and then head on over to commodities, that's what I'm looking for. And we're going to export. And we probably only need a surplus of 300 or so. Anything else we can export, and it is making us mighty wealthy. Over here, we need to get the expansion built on that one. We have that second family available. Got some timber, so let's get them into the saw pit so that we can start to get some of these extensions built, and hopefully some vegetables planted. Let's open up a trade route on charcoal. We're going to export everything over 30 for the time being. And vegetable extensions down here. I'm actually going to get a horse straight away, as unwise as that may seem. Hopefully that'll mean the trading we do initially will bring us in a lot more money, which will then give us the money we need to get some veggies planted. And you're going to be an animal pen, I suppose. So we're just getting that stable put together, so we've got space for when the horse arrives, and we'll do the same for the other one over here ready. And you also can be converted ready for some veggies. Did we put down a marketplace? I don't think we did. So I think perhaps if we build this road here, this spot would be a good one for a marketplace. Hello, thank you. So let's fill this out. Good. Gives us some initial spots to work with. As we come into September, we've got plenty of money. That horse may have paid off. Let's get down some more planting. There's some cabbage in there. Probably should have put carrots as well. And yeah, get some animals in there right away, since we have the money to do so. And we'll get a couple of pens popped on the back there. Let's get another worker and put them to work in this, not in the granary. Let's put them to work in the forager's hut. Nab a worker from the logging camp and put them into the forager's hut as well. Just so, because this will be shrinking now. Yeah, not much left at all. Are we going to get any shrooms? Yep, I'll go and pick a few. May only be a few, but you never know, that may be what sees us through. So, we have got the trading post, so I'm going to set up trading here for food. We have got another region after all. So, I'm going to set a trade on carrots. We're going to import. But it's going to be with our local trading partner only. And we'll head over here and set up a carrot trade, because we have plenty of food over here, if not fuel. Goodness, we need to keep an eye on that, don't we? So let's get to trade here and set up the mirror trade. So we're going to export to our local friends. We want to keep at least 200 for ourselves. And we've got a fair few families. Let's get a couple of families working in this forester's hut. We may have to buy in some charcoal, rather buy in some firewood, which wouldn't be ideal. But I think we're probably going to need to, and we have got the money here to do so. I never used to use the old market stall capability in the old game before they changed the perk system, which would allow you to buy in firewood and charcoal from the foreign market for much cheaper. Okay, what is your area you're working on? Let's change that to that. And let's do the same for you here. And yeah, we've got a chronic lack of firewood. What's going on? Where do we have? Oh, woodcutters, here you are. What are you doing? Are you foraging miles and miles away? Woodcutters, I find, tend to do this. They'll be off, you know, getting firewood from here, as opposed to over here. Hopefully by getting another family working there and relocalizing, we can get that issue shot before it causes us any problems. But just in case it doesn't, I'm going to get down another firewood cutter, and we'll pop him down here, and he can start working the trees around in this area down there. Right, well hopefully we can get on top of this fuel problem. We may need to build another charcoal kiln actually. It's a little closer to this woodcutter's lodge. So let's get rid of this bit of road here and squeeze it in here. And then just connect this up to the King's Road here. Yep, a little something like that. And as soon as that's built, we will get a family in there. Although there aren't a lot of families available, are there? I did say we'd use this for industrial, but we could get some more burgages in there. Do we squeeze some burgages on this side? Right on the main road? Could do. We want it to be usable space, though. You will have a rear. You will have a rear. That's funny. Let's build that. Splendid. So that's going to give us some additional accommodation. We're starting to get on top of the fuel problem. At least it's not as imminent as it was. Got a family working at that charcoal kiln. And we'll just see how we get on. Leute Fluke, do you have food? How wonderful. Mostly you're in beets though. You don't appear to be really buying in those carrots. Ooh. For a moment there, it looked like you do. Well, let's keep an eye on it. But I think at least we probably could look to get some more burgages built in here now. Based on the fact that we should be having some food coming from our neighbours. How are we doing towards here? Let's get some beets in there. Lovely. Seeds purchased. That'll go nicely once we have it. And then let's get this with a few more burgages, like so, for people to be moving into. And then perhaps in this space here, we can get maybe our first orchard put down. And yeah, food is still looking like it's a bit of a problem. Come on, where's my carrot import? Are we below 200 carrots here? Is it 345? It's carrots stored in the trade post. Ah, here we go. But for a moment there, it was looking like we had lots of carrots here. Something a little bit strange is going on here, isn't it? Trade. What are you doing, people? You're carrying a rider. Maybe let's stop trading. We do need money to trade for the carrots. Can't really set priority on trading, can you? We might need another family once someone moves in to go and work at the trade post to help make sure we're bringing in that which we need. And in fact, we've made a few planks, so let's reassign the sawpit worker and then another as well to go and work at the trading post and hopefully bring in those resources nice and quickly. Right, so we'll just keep an eye on this food situation. I think it's time for a cup of tea. That's it for today, folks. If you've enjoyed this video, then please let me know by commenting down below with your feedback and suggestions. A like, hype, and sub go a long way toward helping the channel grow. A huge thank you to my channel members. Your direct support is invaluable. You're the reason I can keep the channel going. And if you're still in the mood to chill, join me in another video and maybe become a member to gain early access. But enough of that. I've been Typical T, and this has been Manor Lords. Cheerio!